Tell you, I love jigs, you know, from this brown and purple with a June bug. I don't know what they call it. They call this one the Creecaw June Bug by Weston. It's got a really great June bug color to it with that purple and brown. Really sets it off. I like to trim my jig skirts right to where the action begins. I guess when I trimmed up, this is that one that came in last month's sack from 6 cents. Kind of an Okeechobee craw color. Almost. It's really like green pumpkin with blue flick. And then I put the blue craw Straight King Rage Bug on it with it. Really great outcome on that. There's a bluegill fire or something like that. Bluegill color from Strike King. And just a watermelon red. But trying to change things up a little bit for my fish so they could see it in a different way, feel it in a different way. So found this one. I don't even know what they got weird numbers for the colors on these things. HASSJ 38-135. Don't ask me, but it's pretty much a watermelon red fleck jig with some, looks like some orange, some red, green pumpkin. It's a nice coloration on the head. And not that that's any different than any of the other jigs I really throw. I mean, even I got the black with the black and blue swim bait on it. But I use a lot of the same trailers, so I'm trying to change things up a little bit by using the helicross by Z-Man, the California craw. And they're a lot softer. They put off, I think, a different kind of thump. You can see they're attached there. You just take your little pliers, or not pliers here, scissors here. I'll cut one there, and then I'll cut this other one here, just so it's nice and tidy. And it's a really dark color with watermelon red fleck, almost like a blackish brown top with a natural kind of green pumpkin at the bottom that we're all used to. But they're a lot softer bait. So I'm thinking the contrast of the darkness with the lightness of this skirt might give them something different to look at, something different, something they might want to just bite and see if it's any good. I do a lot of jig fishing. I mean, I got a ton of jigs. But I like it because it has this metal bait keeper, this little wire bait keeper, which is perfect for these Z-Man plastics. So try to line that sucker up like that, so you can see where that hook's going to come out, which is right about there, about halfway, a little less than halfway up that little mark there. I'll bend that back. I'll push that sucker in. And it is a pain to try to get these to come through. That came through a little too early. So I'll back it up. That's the hard part about these baits. Once you back it up, you want to kind of just let it go. Then start pushing back through again till you get it to come through where you want. That's about right. You can push it up all you want, but you really got to take it, pinch the bottom, and pull it up until you feel a pop. And that pop is the plastic coming over that metal hook. And then you get a nice little straight rigged little offering there. But it's got a different thump. More of a finesse, but still that larger size of jig. And I didn't have to trim this one. This one came perfect. I can't complain about that. If you guys are into jigs, you know, try all the different colors, especially this time of year. We've been having full moons, and unfortunately I've been sick, so I can't get out and do the fishing I'd like to do. But it gives me time to reflect and think of different things and try different things. You don't have to match your jig trailers. You can make them contrasting like that, which helps them see it. But also I do like to match them. Like this one, I don't know. Same thing. Numbers. Hack Attack jig. This one's kind of a grass candy type color. A little bit different style head, more meant for going through grass, which is probably why it has like a grass candy kind of color to it. And let's see, it does not have. So it looks like the Hack Attack jig. Where's the other one? The Select Series Swim jig. This one has the metal offering, while just the regular Hack Attack jig does not. You can see the difference. Jungle flipping hook versus the standard jig hook. But I wanted to kind of match them, so I found this one. And that one is electric shad. But the thing is, yeah, I'm trying to what do you call that? Imitate a bluegill. Well, bluegills are kind of funny with their colors. They have a wide range of colors, and they all seem to have a wider bottom like this, and they all have like reflectiveness to it. And you can see inside this that it has some blue, a little bit of blue fleck in there. If you look at this trailer close enough, you'll see it also has some blue fleck in there. But you give the green with that electric shad color. That's why you gotta think ahead. Line her up, come out right about here. Push that sucker in. This is always the toughest part, in my opinion, is judging where that's going to come out at. Make sure you get it just right. I got lucky there. I don't always get so lucky. But then, when you're all said and done, I might trim that up a little to about right here. Trimming scissors out. Let's take about a 1/2 inch off. And what I like to do when I'm trimming a 1/2 inch off is I like to do it at an angle, because you know, if nothing's straight in the world of fish, everything's kind of got their own kind of uniqueness. So I'll take, when I'm trimming, I'll take my scissors at an angle. It takes longer. It's not as quick. And truly, you can just snip it off straight if you want, just to save time. But I like to take my time and cut it at angles. That way, my skirt is not so looking man-made. Kind of keep these guys guessing, because they've seen it all. Where I fish, it is incredibly overfished. There's a lot of people that fish the lake I do. Always has been. You wouldn't think it, because not as many people hear about it. But in the last few years, it really has developed into a known fishery among anglers in my area. Also for holding big fish, which has changed. So that's another reason I bring it down to 3.25 and I trim my jigs, as I make it a little bit smaller offering so I get more bites. I used to think, oh, jig fishing, you catch, people, you know, they always say, oh, catch big fish on jigs. You can. You truly can. You can leave a jig without, let's pull some out here. You can truly line a jig up and not trim it and have, compared to this, see, that one's a full size, this one's a full size. But if you get it compact a little bit more, which I do, I cut them down a little bit more, it does get a bit smaller. You can see in the length it is about a 1/2 inch longer. But you can get more bites on this doing that. Depending on the color and the day, you get more bites on this than you will this. You could throw this all day and probably not even get a bite sometimes. But you throw a smaller presentation, it really does the trick. Just like this one is a good example. It's a ball head jig, of course. You're not going to swim a ball head jig. You can. My wife and my son have showed me otherwise. You know, they've caught fish on doing it, but you use a smaller skirt with a thinner body compared to some of these other, like the rage bug. There's a huge difference in thickness and in length. So if you want more bites, you could always trim your skirts down and get more bites that way with the smaller presentation. Now another jig I really want to talk about today. Okay, you got Guggen, man, you got Guggen, you got 6th Sense, you got Strike King, you know, you got all these great Arky style head jigs. I can't remember I got this one. I think that's a Bass Patrol jig. I think that's one of them. But if you go to Walmart, that's the best thing. Is you don't know, at Walmart, Lucky Strike has their own jigs there. And this one's like, the way it looks, about maybe a 3/8, but I really want to say a 5/16. But you can throw this on your lighter tackle. This is a true to life finesse jig. You know, not that it's like 6th Sense version of a finesse jig, you know, but in a sense of finesse, what I mean is the hook is a lot different. That's one thing you want to pay attention in your jig fishing, is pay attention to the hook gauge. You see the difference? Some people might say, oh, I don't see a difference, but there is a difference. This hook right here takes more to set the hook than it does this one. I've literally threw this out there, felt the fish pick it up, and all I did was raise my rod and that hook got full penetration. And that was on a 3-pounder, and I pulled him about 3 feet up from the bank up to me with that finesse hook. So you can actually get away. You know, I wouldn't suggest throwing this on like 8-pound and then pick the fish up. If it's a good sized fish, I would reach down and grab the fish if I were you. That way your line don't break. But this hook, it will hold on. It does a great job. This also helps pin that fish so it can't pull that hook off. That's what those secondary usefulness these weed guards have. Not only keep the weeds out of your hook, but to pin it to the fish. So if you don't have heavy tackle, you don't have like 17-pound line on a bait caster, and let's say you have a medium action spinning rod with 10-pound, 8-pound line, you still can jig fish. You just have to make sure to pay attention to the weight of your jig and to the thickness, the thickness gauge of the hook. If you do that, you can jig fish still with even some like almost ultralight gear. Not quite ultralight, but light gear. You can get away with it. So if that helps you guys, I'd really like that to be a part of my channel, and help educating you guys so you can catch more fish. And good luck to you. Thank you for watching.